So let's talk about a really clever idea in web development called implicit objects. And don't worry, this isn't going to be a lecture. Think of it more like we're exploring a neat solution to a problem that you've definitely seen online, probably even today. You ever think about that? You add something to a shopping cart, you click to another page on the same site, and it's still there. How does the website know it's still you? How does it hang on to your stuff between clicks? Well, that little bit of everyday magic is exactly what we're going to unpack. To really get why these things are so helpful, let's look at the problem they solve. Imagine you're building a web page. You could go about it the hard way, using something like a basic servlet. That's where you're basically building everything from the ground up, bringing in every single tool by hand. It can get really messy really fast. Or you could do it the smart way, with JSP. See, JSP just knows you're going to need certain tools every single time, so it just has them ready for you. It helps you keep things clean and lets you focus on your actual idea. So how do we actually build that smarter website? The one that can remember who you are from one moment to the next. It all starts with a really powerful but simple concept. And here they are, implicit objects. The best way to think of them is as pre-made, ready-to-go helpers. The server environment just makes them available to your page automatically. You don't have to write a single line of code to create them. You can just start using them. And that right there saves a ton of repetitive setup work. Okay, but what are they really doing? To get a good handle on this, let's try an analogy. Let's imagine them as a whole team of really helpful assistants. Picture your web server, right? Think of it as a workshop, and every time a user clicks something, it's like a new work order comes in. But here's the key. You're not starting from scratch in an empty, dark room every single time, trying to find your tools. Nope. Instead, when that work order arrives, your assistants are already in the workshop. The lights are on, and they have all their specific tools and information ready to go. Each one has a very specific job, and they're just waiting for you to tell them what to do. So who exactly are these assistants? There are a bunch of them, but let's just meet the 4 most important members of the team, the ones you'll use all the time. First up is Request. This assistant is all about the right here, right now. The Request assistant's entire job is to carry all the information about the user's current click. So if they just filled out a form, Request is holding on to all those answers. It's kind of like an order ticket at a coffee shop, It has all the details for this one specific order. And once that order's complete, the ticket's done. Next up, meet Response. And this assistant, well, it works as a partner to Request. So while Request brings the order in, Response is the one that gets the final product ready and sends it back out. It takes everything you've built, all the HTML, all the content, and packages it up to send back to the user's browser. It's the finished coffee and pastry that the barista hands back to you. All right, now this next assistant, this is the one that solves our whole shopping cart mystery. This is Session. The Session assistant has a much better memory. Its job is to remember one specific user as they move from page to page. It holds on to information that belongs only to them for their entire visit. The best way to think about it is like a personal locker at a gym. You put your things in it, go do your workout, and when you come back, your stuff is still there, safe and sound. That's exactly how a shopping cart remembers what you've added. And finally, there's the assistant who's always thinking about the big picture. This one is called Application. The application assistant holds information that needs to be shared with every single person using the website. We're talking about things like a visitor counter or maybe some general settings. It's just like a public bulletin board in the workshop lobby. Anyone who comes in, no matter who they are, can see whatever's posted on it. So we have these 4 assistants, right? But here's the thing. They don't all work the same hours. They stick around for different amounts of time, which in the programming world we call scope. This diagram here shows the idea perfectly. As you can see, some information has a really short lifespan, while other bits of data stick around for a user's entire visit, or even for every single user on the site. This whole concept is called scope, and it basically decides how long each of our assistants stays on the job. It's really a clear hierarchy. At the very bottom, with the shortest life, is page scope. That's data that only exists on the single page where it was made. A step up from that is our request assistant, which lasts for one complete back-and-forth interaction. Then you have our session assistant, who sticks around for a user's entire visit. And at the very top, with the longest lifespan of all, is the application assistant, who's there for everybody until the entire website gets shut down. Okay, so why does any of this matter? What's the actual benefit of having these assistants do all this work for us? Well, it all comes back to that idea of just making development a better, more focused experience. It matters because it just frees you up. You end up writing way less of that repetitive, boring setup code. Your pages get cleaner and they're much easier to read because you're not mushing everything together. It really helps you separate the job of designing a page from the job of making it work. And all of that adds up to you having more time and more mental energy to spend on the creative, fun parts of your project. And ultimately, that's really the whole point. Your team of implicit objects, they handle all the administrative, repetitive stuff. They manage the data, they carry the information, they build the response, so that you can be the architect. You get to focus on the big idea. And that really is the heart of it all. The best tools, like our team of helpful assistants, they do more than just make the work easier. By taking care of all that underlying complexity, they clear the way for you to think more clearly about what it is you really want to build.